It started innocently enough. Julie was tutoring Lily Slater, helping her catch up on coursework. But somewhere between gentle advice and nervous small talk, Nigel said something he shouldn't have, a clumsy remark meant to make her smile. Instead, it hit too close to home. Julie's face changed, the warmth drained from her eyes. She gathered her notes and ended the session early. Nigel stood frozen, the weight of his words echoing louder than any apology could fix. That night, Julie confided in Jean, the one person who never judged her. Over cups of tea and shared laughter, Jean reminded her that caring for others is easy, but caring for yourself takes courage. Before we uncover Nigel's shocking secret, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on notifications, because what's coming next will change how you see every single character in Walford forever. The next afternoon, Nigel sat alone at the cafe, staring into his untouched coffee. He'd failed the one person who made him feel seen. But when Oscar walked in, cheerful, impulsive, full of ideas, something shifted. "Mate," Oscar said, grinning, "if you really want to show her you care, stop thinking small." And just like that, the spark of an idea became a plan for a trip to India. Julie's dream destination. The one place she'd always talked about, but never reached. But love, in Walford, always comes with a price. Nigel didn't have the money, not even close. "You could sell the car," Oscar offered. Nigel froze. That car wasn't just metal and rubber, it was memories. His father's, his youth, his freedom. But Oscar was persistent. "She deserves this, doesn't she?" By the end of the week, the papers were signed. The car was gone. What Nigel didn't know was that Oscar had sold it to someone he shouldn't have had a buyer linked to Ravi's expanding operation. On the surface, Walford looked peaceful, but beneath the calm, chaos was brewing. Suki and Eve were quietly rebuilding their relationship after months of tension. Heather Peace, who plays Eve, had recently told fans the couple was stronger than ever. But in the square, strength comes at a cost. Their reconciliation was fragile, and it wouldn't take much to shatter it. That much came in the form of a phone call. Teddy was panicking that his son Harry had vanished. George Knight assured him everything was fine. But he was wrong, because Harry wasn't missing. He was taken. Harry's captivity. Deep inside an abandoned warehouse outside Walford, Harry sat trembling, a phone pressed to his ear. On the other end, his father, desperate. But the voice guiding Harry wasn't his own, it was Oki's. "Say you're fine," Oki whispered, blade glinting under the single flickering light. Harry obeyed. The call ended. Teddy's relief was instant and tragically misplaced. Oki wanted one thing: information. There was a camera, hidden somewhere near the square, spying on their drug routes. Oki believed Harry knew where it was. And until he talked, he wasn't leaving. Gina's unknowingly dangerous encounter. Hours later, Gina bumped into Oki outside the pub. He smiled charmingly, composed of the kind of danger that hides behind a clean shirt. "Haven't seen Harry lately," she said with a nervous laugh. "He's been busy," Oki replied smoothly, slipping his phone back into his pocket. "But maybe you and I could catch up sometime." Gina hesitated, then gave him her number, unaware she'd just opened the door to something far darker than she could imagine. Meanwhile, Nigel's guilt grew heavier. He wanted to tell Julie about the car, the money, the trip, everything. But when she saw him and Oscar joyriding in that same car, the one she thought he'd promised not to drive, she snapped, "You're not allowed behind that wheel, Nigel." Her voice cracked. It wasn't anger. It was fear. Nigel froze, realizing too late that his surprise might have destroyed the very trust he was trying to earn. The calm before the reveal. That evening, Julie met Jean at the Vic. The laughter came easier this time. Jean's optimism was contagious. "You can't fix everything, love," she said. Sometimes you just have to let life surprise you. Julie smiled faintly, unaware that the biggest surprise of her life was already waiting just around the corner. The reveal. As the clock hit 8 o'clock, Nigel walked into the Vic with a brown envelope clutched in his hand. "Julie," he said softly, "I've been an idiot, but this is for you." She hesitated, then opened it. "Flight tickets. To Brazil." The room went silent. Julie stared, trembling, unable to speak. "You've given so much to everyone else," Nigel said. "It's time someone gave back to you." Tears filled her eyes. For once, Julie was speechless, not from hurt, but from being seen. Across the square, Oscar's luck finally turned. Jasmine had agreed to go out with him. Maybe it was his charm, or maybe it was how his crazy idea brought two people together. Either way, love was messy, imperfect, but real was alive again in Walford. As laughter echoed through the Vic, the camera panned slowly out of the window across the street, past the cafe, to a dark alley where Oki was making another call. "We've got what we needed," he said coldly. "Now deal with the boy." The voice on the other end was low and familiar. Ravi, the same man Oscar had unknowingly sold Nigel's car to. In its boot, something none of them knew existed, was a tracking device linked directly to Oki's laptop, which meant that Nigel's grand romantic gesture had just connected him, unknowingly, to the same criminal network holding Harry captive. That night, while Julie packed for India, George Knight finally got a tip: a sighting of Harry near an industrial estate. As he arrived, headlights flared. The car parked outside was unmistakable: Nigel's. Inside the building, a fight had broken out. Oki's men were gone. Harry, barely conscious, was slumped against a wall, and on the floor beside him, the car's registration papers. George realized the horrifying connection too late. Nigel's car had been used to transport shipments. His sacrifice had unknowingly funded Oki's operation. Back in Walford, police sirens echoed down Bridge Street. Nigel was arrested in front of Julie, his trip of a lifetime turned into a nightmare. "I didn't know," he cried. "I just wanted to make her happy." But the evidence was too strong, and as he was taken away, Julie's world shattered. The man who tried to give her the world had instead brought darkness to her doorstep. The final moments are silent. Julie sits alone in the square, staring at the now empty cafe window where Nigel used to daydream. Jean joins her quietly, resting a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Maybe he did the wrong thing," Jean says softly. "But for the right reasons." Julie nods, a tear rolling down her cheek. Somewhere in the distance, Suki and Eve walk hand in hand under the streetlights, two people still fighting for love, still defying the odds. And in a dimly lit police cell, Nigel whispers to himself, "It was supposed to be a gift."